Here's a question that will change the way you work. If you only had 2 hours a week to work on your goals, what would you do? And let's say that the doctor has just told you that you cannot work for more than 2 hours every single week. So that's your max. And if your goal is to get good grades, what would you do? Would you spend the 2 hours highlighting the book, or would you do the things that matter the most, complete your pairing for board exams and do past papers which contain around 80% of the paper that will come in your year as well? Like a few weeks ago, me and my friends were talking about studying, and one of them told me that, bro, did you know I study for 8 hours every single day? And the other one said, oh bro, that's too little. I study for all the hours I'm awake and I'm only alive on just 3 hours of sleep. And I was standing there and thinking to myself, what the hell, bro? And I study for just 2 hours or maximum 3 hours every single day, and I still get the same grades as them, if not better, in every single test. And I think, bro, that this is one of the major faults, and this is one of the major misconceptions in our society, that the more you study, the better it is. It's like saying if you do 15 sets of 15 reps in the gym, you will do much better than the person who does 3 sets of 15 reps. No, that's idiotic, because your muscles need a time for recovery. Just as your physical muscles like your bicep or your tricep need time to recover, your brain also needs time to recover. Because guess what, bro? Brain is also a muscle. So bro, do not be an idiot and do not work like an elephant. Instead, work like a lion. Work in short sprints of deep focus, and you will annihilate your competition. You will totally and utterly annihilate your competition, and only work on the things that matter the most, and use the 80 to 20 rule, which says that 80% of the results are brought about by 20% of the actions. So only focus on the 20% of the actions. And if you ask yourself that question, you will realize that you spend most of your time doing what is not important. And so bro, if the doctor had told you that you only had 2 hours a week to study, and you would do those tasks and you will still get good grades, why not just do those tasks and still get good grades? The second thing is Parkinson's law. It states that work expands to fill the time you have allotted for it. And using this law, I completed 2 chapters of physics in just a single hour, because I only had a single hour left until academy. And one of my friends told me that, bro, we have a test of these 2 chapters today. And I was like, whoa, I did not even know. And I completed those 2 chapters entirely in just a single hour. And it was because of Parkinson's law. So if you give yourself 8 hours every single day to study, you will study for 8 hours. And guess what? If someone else gives himself 2 hours to study, he will study for 2 hours, and you, both of you, will get the same grades. If not, that the guy studying for 2 hours will get better grades, because he has a life outside of just studying, and he works on his mental health and other things in his life. And most of us give ourselves 8 hours and then or 10 hours to study, and we think bro, we are studying so much, but we are not studying so much. We are being idiots. We are working like an elephant. You need to work like a lion, not like an elephant. You need to work in short sprints of deep focus, not in long runs of low focus. Tell me, how do you study? Do you know how to study? I don't think you know how we are supposed to study and how our memory works, and the reason you don't know is because nobody told you how our memory works. But as I said, if you spend 2 hours on studying every single day, and then you have a life outside of studying, you will be able to learn more things. And let me say this one thing: the guy who studies all day has no time to learn anything. Let me repeat that. The guy who studies all day has no time to actually learn and improve his life. So bro, learn how to study. Use a trick called active recall and spaced repetitions. Several studies have shown that these two are the most efficient ways to study. Active recall, which means that you look at the topic that you are going to learn, and you read that once, and then you close the book, you look away, and then you try to recall what you just learned. And that is why it is called active recall. You use your brain to bring up the things that you just learned or you just revised. So bro, learn to study, learn to use active recall and spaced repetition. Don't be an idiot and don't just read the book again and again like an idiot. Instead, use active recall and spaced repetition while you study. And the reason I think most people spend so much time studying is because they have shit attention spans. Just bro, put yourself in my shoes. I don't play video games. I don't use social media. I don't watch any type of short content. I don't eat junk food. I don't have any bad habits. that I'm aware of. Like, I'm not perfect or anything, but I'm not aware of any of the bad habits that I have. So because of all of these good habits, they go full circle and affect my studying and affect my grades overall. Like, most of my competition, most of the like students in my class have very bad attention spans. They can't even like sit still for like a minute, and they can't even meditate for a single minute because they have very low attention span. Like, I challenge you, bro, try to sit still and close your eyes and not think about anything for 3 minutes, or just 3 minutes are too much, for 1 minute. You won't be able to, because you have a very shit attention span. So improve your attention span. Also, bro, when you work in a deep work. As I said, we want to work like lions. We don't want to work like an elephant. We want to work in short sprints of deep focus, not in long runs of low focus. Work like a lion. Work in a deep work fashion. Close the door when you work. Like, shut yourself in a room where there's like no sound, no other device, and you are just studying. And this will put you in a flow state. The flow state, like, it's the state where we don't know what's going on around us, but we are just focused on the task at hand, and we do that task in like less amount of time because we are very focused on that task. One final thing I would say is that before you go to sleep every single day, write the things that you are going to study the next day. Like, this is one of our main beliefs of mine, that if you write the things that you are going to do the previous day, you write it with your core masculine logic. And even if you wake up the next day and you are feeling tired and you don't want to study and you don't feel like studying, you still look at the list and you say to yourself, my past self wrote this, so I have to complete it today. So, bro, just do this actionable step for this part. Like, every single day before you like go to sleep, like, take a piece of paper and write what you are going to study the next day. So in this way, you don't have to wake up and spend your like brain points thinking about what you are going to study. Instead, you can just like open the topic that you just wrote the previous day, and then you can study that topic and you can start to learn that topic. And bro, be very specific about the topic you are going to study. Don't just write, I'm going to study physics. No, instead write, I'm going to study physics, in which I'm going to study chapter 11 and the topic is pressure of gas. Be detailed, be as much detailed as you can about that topic. So in this way, that when you wake up the next day, you don't have to spend any brain points thinking about what you're going to study, and you can just look at the list, look at what you wrote the previous day or the previous night, and you can get to work. If you like use all of these secrets, you will annihilate your competition, and you will become that unique student who just studies for 2 hours and still gets an ace in every single one of his exams and like beats all of his competition, and he has time to work on his life, and he has actually time to learn some things new in his life and change his life in a better way. So, bro, this is my ending question to you. If you only had 2 hours a week to study, what would you study? Write that down and then only do that, because that is the only stuff that matters. And so do good, and I'll see you in Jannah. Mwah.